Hi, today you will learn a few types of prepositions you can use for place and time. You will start off with e. E can be used for places and time and need to be attached to a noun. It might be easy to get confused because in English you need to use at least 4 different types of prepositions depending on some conditions or situation. Whereas in Korean you can use just one preposition in all the situations. So the easiest way to remember when you need to use e is when you want to say when or where. For example, where at home, when at 3 p.m., where at school or in school, to school, when on July 18th, when in 2021. Look at these examples. My brother is going to Korea. This sentence is easy to translate. If you want to have some practice, pause the video and try to translate the sentence for yourself. Okay, my brother is going to Korea is 제 오빠가 or 형이 한국에 갑니다. My brother is going where? To Korea. 한국에. Unlike English, in the Korean language, we need to put prepositions after a word the preposition is related to. And also, we need to attach it to the word. There are 2 things I want to drive your attention to. The first one is, if you're a female and you have an older brother or a close male friend who is older than you, you need to use the word 오빠. Don't call them 형, okay? And if you're a male, then call your older brother or close male friends who are older than you as 형. Another thing is, here you can use 는 or 가. Both are grammatically correct, but there will be a slight semantic difference. If you want to learn more about the difference between 은는 and 이가, check out the lesson number 14. Okay, the next example is I stay at home. 저는 집에 있습니다. 저는 is I, 집 is home or house, and 있다, most frequently, it is translated as a verb to have. For example, I have a friend. 저는 친구가 있습니다. Or when you want to say that something or somebody is located somewhere, you need also use the verb 있다. The smartphone is in the bag. 스마트폰은 가방에 있습니다. I stay at home. I'm at home. 저는 집에 있습니다. The next example is my friend is in Seoul. He is located or stays in Seoul, right? So here we also need to use the verb 있다. 제 친구는 or 친구가 서울에 있습니다. My friend, Seoul, in, have or stay. Okay? You can also use the preposition 에 multiple times in a single sentence. Look at this example. My brother is going to Korea on February 29. 제 오빠는 or 형은 한국에 2월 29일 날에 갑니다. Or you can also put the date first and the place after the date. 제 오빠는 2월 29일에 한국에 갑니다. So as you can see, I used the preposition 에 twice. One to indicate place and the other one to indicate date. But what if we want to add time? For example, 2 o'clock. In English version, we have 3 prepositions, to, on, and at. Unlike English, in the Korean version, 2 prepositions would be enough. One for a place and the other one for time. 2월 29일 2시에 갑니다. We removed 에 from 일 and attached to hours. What if we want to say 2:25 instead of 2 o'clock? Similarly, here we remove the preposition 에 from hours and attach it to minutes, and so on. If you want to include seconds, remove the preposition from minutes and attach it to seconds. Okay, that's all for the preposition 에. In this lesson, we have 4 more prepositions. If you're tired or need to make notes, have some rest and come back again in a few minutes. Okay, the next preposition is 에서, which is also translated into English as at and in, same as the previous preposition 에. But in addition to that, it also has the meaning from. For example, I came from Busan, I came from Seoul, I came from the United States. First, let's find out what is the difference between 에 and 에서, since they both are translated as at and in. Pause the video and try to guess what might be the difference between examples on the left-hand side and right-hand side. The difference is in verbs. When the verb describes an action, for example, learn, study, was born, etc., use 에서. And when the verb describes a state, then use the preposition 에. However, most verbs are action verbs, and just a few verbs are state verbs. 있다 and 없다 are the most common state verbs. There is one verb, though you can use it with both 에 and 에서. The verb is to live, 살다, which is a regular verb. All verbs and adjectives whose stem ends with 리을 are irregular, which is why instead of 살습니다, the correct form for the present tense would be 삽니다. You will learn more about irregular verbs in the future lessons. So, to say I live in Germany, you can attach either 에 or 에서 to the word Germany. 저는 독일에 삽니다 or 저는 독일에서 삽니다. Both sentences are correct. Now let's see how you can use 에서 in the sense of from. 에서 in the sense of from is mostly used for places, not for time. I came from Spain. 저는 스페인에서 왔습니다. I brought it from school. 제가 or 저는 이것을 학교에서 가져왔습니다. 서울에서 부산까지. From Seoul to Busan. Busan is the second largest city in Korea. You will learn this preposition very shortly in this lesson. So I hope you got the idea how you can use 에서. One thing that might be confusing about 에서 is it can be translated as from or in depending on what you mean. Pause the video and compare the examples on the left-hand side and right-hand side to get the idea about how to use 에서 in the Korean language. Okay, now let's find out what type of prepositions you can use to express the same thing about time and dates. You need to use the preposition 부터. From June to October, 6월부터 10월까지. The lesson starts at 9 o'clock. From a certain point of time. 수업은 9시부터 시작합니다. I have been living in Japan since 1987. 저는 일본에서 1987년부터 삽니다. You see, you have both 에서 and 부터 in the same sentence. 에서 is translated as in and used to indicate a place, Japan, and 부터 is used to indicate a starting point of time. The next preposition is Kaji. We have already used it twice in our examples. You can use it both for places and time. And it has a meaning of to, by, until a certain point of time or place. You can also use it in combination with from. 에서까지 for places and 부터까지 for time. The last preposition for this lesson is 로, 으로. It has two meanings. The first one is to, which is pretty same as 에. For example, I go to school. And the second meaning is by the means of or with the help of. A word where you attach this preposition is used as a tool. Unlike other four prepositions you learned in this lesson, this preposition has two options, 로 and 으로. When a noun ends with a vowel or 리을, you need to use 로, and if it ends with a consonant, use 으로. I go to New York. 저는 뉴욕으로 갑니다. You see, the last letter in this word is a consonant. That's why I used 으로. Where are you going? 어디로 갑니까? The last letter is a vowel. I'm going to Seoul. 저는 서울로 갑니다. The last letter is a consonant, but the consonant is 리을. That's why we need to use 로 instead of 으로. It's an exception to the rule. You can say the same thing by using the preposition 에. The sentences would mean pretty much the same. 저는 뉴욕으로 갑니다 or 저는 뉴욕에 갑니다. Both will tell your listener that you go to New York. Now let's find out how else you can use the preposition 로 and 으로. Look at the sentences. I drew it with a pencil. Here, the pencil is a tool. I pay with my card. The card is also a tool to make a payment. I watch a movie on my phone. The phone is a tool which shows me a movie. My younger brother came by bus. The bus is also a tool which the younger brother used to come here. I hope you got the idea how you can use the preposition. Pause the video, see if you can translate these sentences for yourself. Just try. Even if you make mistakes, that's fine. If you don't know how to say some of these words in Korean, you can go to the vocabulary section in the previous lesson and check them out. Once you're done with the translation, play the video again to see how I translated them. So I translated the first sentence as 저는 이것을 연필로 그립니다. Not 연필으로. Okay? Because the final consonant is 리을. And if you translated it as 저는 연필로 이것을 그립니다. Well, grammatically it's correct, but it sounds as if you were to say I with pencil draw it, which sounds a bit awkward. The next sentence is 저는 제 카드로 결제합니다. I watch movie on my smartphone. You can either say 저는 영화를 제 스마트폰으로 봅니다 or 저는 제 스마트폰으로 영화를 봅니다. And the last sentence is 제 남동생이 버스로 왔습니다. 왔습니다 is the past tense form, so it's totally fine if you couldn't translate it. Okay, so this lesson was pretty informative. I could split this lesson into 5 lessons, but as you noticed, some prepositions are similar to each other, and to reduce the confusion, I decided to include all of them into one single lesson where I could explain the nuances and differences between them. If you want to practice, you can make your own sentences using these prepositions. Write your sentences in the comments if you want me to check them out and give you feedback. In the next lesson, you will learn how to say time in Korean, so we are going to use these words. Try to learn them by the next lesson. You can also check them out in the description box below this video.